Good morning everyone. Today we are discussing about an important topic from environment economics, the various methods of environmental valuation. Let us start from environmental valuation. Environmental valuation is defined as estimating the economic value of natural resources, environmental assets, goods and services, etc. That means environmental valuation is a method for quantitatively measuring the economic value of an environmental resource, goods or service. So we have to explain what is economic value of an environmental good or resource. An economic value is defined as the sum of discounted present values of the flow of all goods and services from the resource over its productive lifespan. That means by using the technique of discounting, we are calculating the value of all goods and services from the resource over its productive lifespan. By summing up the values, we will get the economic value of environmental resource. This value is expressed as the total economic value. The various methods of environmental valuations are used to calculate this total economic value or the various types of total economic values. Total economic value is mainly divided into or classified into two: use value and non-use value. Use values are those values of goods and services that directly enter an economy. That means the values derived from an environmental good which will directly affect an individual. Use value is again divided into direct and indirect method. Indirect use values. Direct use values are again divided into consumptive use values and non-consumptive use values. Consumptive use values are the values for those goods which will preclude the others from consumption when one individual consumes it. Non-consumptive use values are the values for those goods which does not diminish the amount available to others when one individual consumes it. An example for consumptive use value is fishing, and example for non-consumptive use value is sightseeing, etc. Then non-use values. Non-use values means value assigned by a person to something even if he is not intended to use that good. Non-use values are of three types: option value, bequeathed value and existence value. All these values are assigned by persons who are not intended to use in the current period. Option value is the value of preserving a resource for future period. He will not be using in the current period, but he may use in future period. Then bequeathed value is the value for preserving a resource for future generations. Then comes the existence value. The value of knowing the resource exists is called existence value. Some individuals will attach a value to those resources which he may never expect to use it. That type of values are called existence value. So these are the types of total economic values: the use value, non-use and their classifications. Then let us go to the various methods of environmental valuation. Various taxonomies of techniques for environmental valuation are developed to measure the economic values of non-marketable environmental goods. Here we have selected the taxonomy which clearly defines or clearly classifies the resources, clearly classifies the methods into two. First, the expressed preference method, and the second one is revealed preference method. Expressed preference method is the direct method and revealed preference method is the indirect method. Expressed preference method includes only one type of valuation method, which is called contingent valuation method. Contingent valuation method is again classified into there are three types of contingent valuation methods. On the other hand, revealed preference methods, which is the indirect method, is again divided into four, or that they are travel cost method, hedonic pricing, preventive expenditure and surrogate market approach. let us go into the details of the various valuation methods. First, the expressed preference method. We have already said that express preference method is the direct method. That means it examines individuals' expressed preference. It means that in this method, individuals are directly asked what is the value they assigned to an environmental good or an environmental good or service. The first in contingent valuation method, the first type of direct method or express preference method is contingent valuation. The first and the only method is contingent valuation method. The contingent valuation method is a method of estimating the value that a person places on a good, an environmental good. So here in contingent valuation method, people are asked to directly report their willingness to pay to obtain a specific good, or to report what is the willingness to accept to give up a good. The name contingent valuation is derived from how these contingent valuation surveys are framed. The people are asked their willingness to pay for an environmental good to exist. This method is more effective when the respondents are more attached to that environmental good, or those who have more knowledge and information about that environmental good. Then the contingent valuation method will be more effective. We already said that there are three types of contingent valuation methods: the trade-off games method, costless choice method, and Delphi method. Trade-off games are used to determine individual preferences among various outcomes. For example, let us assume that there are two outcomes. Outcome 1 is a given quality of environmental quality, with no money contribution, and the output 2 is an improved environmental quality with a contribution of money, a small amount of contribution. Then the individual is asked to choose between these two options. Then the amount of money that he is willing to pay will be the amount he is ready to sacrifice for that improved quality. That is the trade-off games method. Then comes the costless choice method. This method is also a survey-based method, which is a type of contingent valuation method. In here, the individual are asked to choose between two alternative choices. He have to select any one option. The choice is costless. The individual is asked to choose between a sum of money and an improved environmental quality.